Hey horror fans, Bored now back with you, and it's time for my...
Ready or not, here I come, you can't hide. Gonna find you and take it slowly.
Spoiler-free review. So I saw the new Ready or Not movie yesterday, and I decided I would get some early thoughts out there and give you a little bit of a hint of whether it's worth seeing or not before I return, probably later in the week, with a full-on spoiler discussion. Holy shit, it's crazy that the original Ready or Not came out in 2019, before the pandemic. Time just flies. So first of all, just to give some early impressions on this sequel, I would put it in the same frame as something like the Happy Death Day sequel, where it's definitely a step down and it does feel like lesser in some ways, but it also feels that if you enjoyed the first Happy Death Day, you're probably going to enjoy the follow-up. Like, it kind of does justice to the first movie and advances one or two things. I think in this case there's certain jokes from the original Ready or Not, or beats that this movie just puts a twist on and adds one or two things which I think fans of the original are going to enjoy. If you didn't enjoy the first Ready or Not, like it did have a particular vibe to it. If you didn't get on board with that vibe from the first one, then I don't think you're going to enjoy this sequel. It doesn't really make any new concessions to fans. So overall, I would say it's a solid sequel. It's a very watchable sequel. My main complaint is probably with some of the humour. I think the humour overall was very hit and miss. Some of it was very forced, a little bit too try-hard. I think they were going for this certain humour, which you see in a lot of movies now, where it's just to do trust fund kids or like rich, like family social media type era characters. And I think in this movie those characters just felt like window dressing. It just felt like they were just there because they could be there for a few beats. Some of those characters actually took away from the enjoyment of the movie, and I just didn't find that stuff that enjoyable. It just felt a bit lame to me. There is one character that comes from the side group of characters who plays quite a big role later on in the movie. And I won't spoil it because I'll mention the character more when I come back with my spoiler review. But I think she was the best of the side supporting characters. Just for those who have seen the movie, I guess this is that, but I'll just say the dance floor scene. A lot of the others were just distracting, but her character I did actually enjoy. So I think the jokes and the humour are probably the weakest part of this movie. I think at times it just got a bit too repetitive. Like there's a certain gag where people keep exploding, or that like combustion and blood splatters in everyone's face, and they just went to that well too many times, and it just felt a bit too forced for me. But I think the reason that overall I enjoyed the movie was because of the casting and the characters, the main characters particularly, and the cast who they brought in did a solid job, and I think you could see we're having a good time and got stuck into the roles. And it's this thing of sometimes weaker material or like maybe jokes that aren't that funny can be made more entertaining by good actors and by a cast or characters that are like at least pretty solid. It feels like it's almost like a sub-Tarantino type movie with like some of these underworld characters, but it's almost like there's a joke about gangsters or people involved in the underworld being useless. Like that's where a lot of the antics came from, and it is a movie full of antics. I think it does lose some of the jeopardy of the first movie, where you never really feel like, apart from one or two scenes, I would say, you never really feel like the main characters are in that much peril or that much jeopardy. I know the first movie was quite comedic, but it did feel with that one, then it was taking the horror premise at least semi-seriously, and you could get into it. With this, I think it was more full on, okay, we're being very tongue-in-cheek, we're being quite goofy, we're being quite slapstick. And that's probably why overall I prefer the first one, is because it had a simple but really effective horror-style premise, had a good final girl in it, and there was some good humour, some good gags to go alongside it, but there was just a charm to it, whereas this one, you get a lot of add-on things, and it's very much in the spirit of the first one, but some of the add-ons, they do add to it, and other parts, they just feel, as I said, too distracting or too gimmicky. At times, the tone was a bit inconsistent, because definitely with the sisters, so Catherine Newton, who's new in this movie, and the main character of Grace, Samara Weaving, who I think is very good in the movie again. Some drama with them, and some like actual proper drama moments where you are meant to take it a bit more seriously. And those scenes are quite well done, and I think they have good chemistry. It's just that it felt a little out of place with some of this other stuff. And that with one of the villains, feel like it was trying to go for something a bit like nihilistic and darker, but then you had all this wackiness happening around it. The movie that's carried by the cast and by the characters. And I think one or two good set pieces. People who've seen it, the dance floor set piece, the golf course set piece were probably the memorable. And the end of the movie is very memorable. Like, there's definitely stuff happening, and I thought, okay, I'm quite into this. Even though it was not like the most original thing you've ever seen. And there's nothing really that original in this movie. That's just a warning to you. Like, if you go in hoping for originality and for, okay, we're going on this insane ride, I don't think it's that. Mocking just ridiculous style plots and kind of B-movie type plots, and almost having fun with like underworld type figures. Newton and Weaving have great chemistry as the sisters. I do like Catherine Newton. I think she was a good addition here. And they do bring some good heart to the movie. Fun stuff that comes out, their interactions throughout. It also helps that both are very game when it comes to the horror and action scenes, and are really good, feisty final girls. And Newton's character particularly takes one hell of a beating in one particular scene, and that's one of the scenes which I said has a rare moment of jeopardy to it. They work also because they're quite dry and deadpan. I think that's a good way to offset the more over-the-top antics going on around them. Samara Weaving is very good. Like, the movie literally picks up after the closing of the last movie with her character. Hits her stride straight away. Not that it's as good as Scream 2, but the feel you get with her in this movie is that it's almost like Sydney in that movie, where she's now more prepared for this stuff because of the events of the last movie. And also there's this feel of, no way, I'm not doing this again. And she's now more cautious. The standout pairing is that of Sarah Michelle Gellar and Sean Hotsey. A few negative reviews already of this, and one of the things they've said is that, yeah, it's not the return to Sarah Michelle Gellar Buffy form, it's not the movie she deserves. But at the end of the day, even if you don't like the movie, she is given a very big role in it. She's very good in it, because her and Sean Hotsey have great chemistry. Like, they work together as this almost seedy underworld type duo. They're almost like secret agents, but if they were villains. And they've got this really chalk and cheese type thing to them, where he's the more kind of brash, controversial one of the pairing. She's a bit more like laid back, a bit more neutral, and likes to do things in a more like sophisticated type way. And I think she plays it quite well, where you're meant to feel her character is more neutral. She's meant to maybe have some ill feelings towards the family and towards the whole idea of the game. It took me a while into the film to realise it was Sean Hotsey, because I think I missed his name in the credits. And so there was this thing of, yeah, he does look quite like Sean Hotsey, but obviously he's getting a bit older now. But I tell you what, he really looks like Matthew McConaughey's cousin as well. It's almost like Sean Hotsey morphed into Matthew McConaughey. And he's the character I was talking about. Like, the Sean Hotsey character seems like if there is a true villain of the movie, then that's him. And I think he's very good. Like, he's having a good time playing this very dangerous, very naughty sort of character. And like I said, he's the one who is the most nasty. Elijah Wood was enjoyable. Again, it's a little bit of a smaller role, but I think he played his part well, does some good plot exposition. The David Cronenberg cameo was fun. I think, again, it's almost like a tongue-in-cheek thing of David Cronenberg always makes cameos, like in horror movies. And when I say that, I mean it's always like quite a small cameo, so I felt they were almost like making a joke about that. So it's almost like the cast carry it. Some of the antics are like okay. And there's 2 or 3 really good set pieces. And the real jeopardy, as I said, probably comes from the Sean Hotsey. I'm going to give it like a mild recommendation. I think as sequel goes, I had a pretty good time with it, but if you don't enjoy the first one, then I can't really see you enjoying this one. But there you have it. That's Ready or Not. Here I come. Ready or Not 2. That's my spoiler-free thoughts, guys. Let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. Do keep it spoiler-free, because I will return soon with a full-on spoiler discussion of the movie. I'll probably give it 6 out of 10. But it's a 6 out of 10 I would sort of recommend checking out. But thanks everyone, keep watching horror movies, like and subscribe, hit the hype button, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.